Hi, this is Ryan Hoff with your AIC Legislative Minute for March 7th, 2025, brought to you by Maximus. This week, the House Ways and Means Committee began their deliberations on Senate Bill 1 and property tax reform in general. As a reminder, this bill would cap max levy growth quotient growth for local governments in the next 3 years, as well as provide other tax benefits like a first-time homebuyer tax credit, expanded over 65 and veterans deductions, and optional property tax deferral program. We continue to be concerned that this approach reduces property taxes in all counties and for all classes of property, whether or not their taxes actually increased. The Ways and Means Committee took over 5 hours of testimony, including from AIC and multiple county officials. The curveball going forward is that the committee now intends to take testimony again next week, but on House Bill 1402, which didn't pass during the first half of session. If you watched our AIC halftime show last week, I hinted that House Bill 1402 might be the roadmap that the House uses for their proposal on property tax relief. So be sure to study up on House Bill 1402, as it would dramatically reform property tax, local income tax, and the distribution system of local government taxation in the coming years. What is clear is that your phone calls, emails, and other feedback is important. Legislators need to continue to hear that counties need revenue to deliver all the important services you provide. Even though the legislation has been softened from the original version, we are only halfway through the legislative session, and the House is only now beginning to consider how much local revenue to cut. House Bill 1402, for example, has huge reductions in both business and residential taxes, with elimination of the 30% business personal property tax floor and a phased-in business personal exemption on new equipment, in addition to large new increases in the 1% and 2% property tax class deductions. If you haven't yet talked to members of the House, please do so in advance of next week's committee hearing on Wednesday. In other news, House Bill 1198 has passed the House and increases the cap on public works projects being completed with in-house labor. The House version of the bill increased the cap from the current $250,000 to $500,000. However, this week, the bill was scaled back a bit by the Senate Labor Committee to a cap of $350,000, but now includes an annual inflationary index tied to the Consumer Price Index. The bill passed out of committee and heads to the full Senate for consideration. That's all for this week, but next week's continued discussion of Senate Bill 1 and its companion Bill 1402 will likely be one of the most highly anticipated discussions of the session for counties. Have a great weekend. This has been your AIC Legislative Minute, brought to you by Maximus.